Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 442. This show is brought to you by Primary Arms and VZ Grips. I'm Chad Wallace, and in this show we'll be discussing a convertible holster review, some 9mm, magwells, and a button lock. As you may know, we showcase guns, gear, and anything else you, as a gun enthusiast, may be looking for. We do our best to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. With me tonight, I have Tony, Rob, Rusty, and I don't know if T-Zane will be here or not, but, you know, there's rumors he might show up. So our first sponsor tonight is VZ Grips. VZ Grips has been manufacturing handgun grips since 2003 with a reputation for quality, consistency, and innovation. Top-tier manufacturers choose VZ Grips. They come in a variety of styles, patterns, colors, and are manufactured from proprietary G10, micarta, or carbon fiber. Available with varying degrees of texture, VZ offers a wide range of grips for all different firearm types. Made in the USA the VZ way. Our featured grip of the week this week is the VZ Stipple AR grip. I actually have one of these. There's a review on the firearmsinsider.tv, so if you're interested, it is probably, if you have girly hands like Tony, it'll probably hurt. No, but this thing is super aggressive. Yeah, I actually love the thing because it's super aggressive. Like, if you didn't have calluses and had super soft hands, it would tear your hands up. So that's the grip of the week. You can check out VZ Grips at vzgrips.com. Our coupon code GGR15 gets you 15% off handgun and rifle grips. So do go give them a look. And now we're into what we did in firearms, which I didn't do anything. I had places to go this weekend, and it wasn't the range.
I had stuff to do.
Yeah, so Rob and I are out, so it's left to Tony and Rusty, and I think Rusty is probably floating.
I'm still in jail.
Floating in jail. So Tony.
See, that's why you're not an influencer, because you didn't do anything in guns this week.
He would have if they'd let him.
Nice.
Hey, it's not for the lack of trying. I reached out to people, but we won't go there right now.
Okay, we won't go there, but I still thought it was funny because I like going there. Yeah, so we had a diversity shoot at the Heritage Guild in Easton, PA. Hey, all you guys that go, yeah, man, I don't know, I should go. Yeah, you should have, because we were shooting the Uzi, full auto, awesome. Wait a minute, was it the Uzi or was it the MP5? Oh, I'm sorry, it was the MP5. So we had.
How dare you compare those two?
Yeah, because the Uzi's more awesome. Anyway,
Sacrilegious.
Whatever's. It depends on when you grew up, which one you think is cooler. So we had two different parents. We had two different parents bring their kids, which was cool because they're entrusting you with their children. And both of them happened to be young ladies. One was 15, the other one was 16, and they both of them had actually shot guns before, but they never shot a, I don't know.
MP5?
They never shot a full auto friggin' MP5, and they can't say that anymore. They never shot a, what the heck was it? Hey, 50 Beowulf AR. They can't say that anymore. So they had a bunch of fun. We had different people. It was great. Some of the returning people actually bought their kids, and that was awesome. We also had a domestic violence victim that came with someone else who's a survivor of assault. And she trusted us enough with her friend to bring her friend for us to instruct on how to use the firearm, because she'd already purchased it because her life is still currently being threatened, but she didn't know how to use it. And she discovered that she does not have the hand strength to operate a slide. And this is where I'll give props to the Heritage Guild. They closed at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. I forget which one. We finished up our shooting on the range at 9. And as we were leaving, the manager actually took her aside because I told her to look at the Smith & Wesson EZ 9mm. Because she had no problem with the recoil. It was just racking the slide. And he ran it. Again, store has been closed for hours. and he actually let her handle it, and then said, "Come back during the week, and we'll let you rent it because it's one of our rental guns, and we'll walk you through it." So she's probably already been back and probably has a new gun already because it's Pennsylvania. But she needed it then. She needed the instruction, even though it was only an introduction. So I think that is amazing that that happened, and I'm really humbled by the fact that I know we've helped people and introduced them to their rights, but to have somebody there who is using that to protect her life was really crazy. And just wow, it puts a lot of stuff in perspective. So I mean, a lot of different types of people come to the diversity shoot. Oh, okay, and I also got to shoot the SIG. One of the guys showed up with the SIG P320 Spectre comp, and I got to shoot that with a red dot. It is pretty cool. The trigger feels a heck of a lot better than when I was dry firing it when I saw the Great American Outdoor Show, because I was not impressed by the trigger. I got there the day it came out, and I was not, actually, it hadn't even announced it yet, and I was dry firing it, and I really wasn't impressed, but pretty darn decent. And then he also had the P365 Spectre comp. So I shot both of those, ran like 2 magazines through them each. They're pretty cool. It's just that price tag is crazy. I mean, what, $1,200 price tag for the Spectre comp, or maybe slightly more? It's a lot of dough.
Yeah.
But at least I got to run some rounds through that, and it was pretty cool. So great diversity shoot. Thank all the guys, the volunteers, the Heritage Guild. If you're in Pennsylvania or Jersey in that area, go check them out. Great staff, helpful. And I thought it was just pretty cool. They take that extra time with somebody who wasn't even a customer until, you know what I mean, they just met them. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet that you guys got to help them out, and and they did that for her, take her in there and show her that when they didn't have to, but that's pretty cool they did. And if nothing else, the 9 might not work out, but the 380 is probably there too, and the 380 in my opinion is easier to rack. And 380 9mm, hey, if you're having trouble racking the slide, she's probably going to be shooting at 10 feet anyway. I don't want to
get shot by either one of those. So.
Exactly, and I don't want to get shot by anything that goes bang, or even like this air rifle. I don't think I want to get shot by that either.
No, and I don't think the 380s. I mean, people poo-poo it as though that's as low as we go. Hey, you know what? Calm down, Tactical Timmy.
Well, you got to remember, 9mm was where the 380 was in the 80s. So,
hey, my ATM gun is a Ruger LCR, LCP 380. That's what I throw in my pocket a lot of times and put it in.
Yeah,
great gun.
Yep. So, I guess we'll get into our announcements now. Bandwidth sponsors are friends over at Patriot Patch Co. You know them. You should love them if you don't. Their Patch of the Month club this month is the Liberty patch. It's pretty cool. That's the sticker, but hey, whatever. You definitely need to go check out their stuff they have. Their cleaning mats or large mouse pads, whatever you want to call them, are pretty awesome. They got a bunch of different ones over there. Metal signs, you name it, they got it. Go check them out. You can get see, Tony's showing the actual patch. See, he's got to one-up me. I see how he is.
Yeah, you know how I am.
So
I'm just better than you. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I got this.
That's not saying much, Tony.
I got this mute button though. So you can get our t-shirts through the FRN site, or if you go to the firearmsinsider.tv, you can click the merch tab. It takes you directly there. So if you want to get some of those, there are Kilt in the Street shirts. They're pretty awesome. So, who knows? If you got any ideas for any shirts that you might want, let us know. We'll see maybe what we can come up with. There's a bunch of affiliates and or discounts. Some are affiliates, some aren't. Go check them out. Of course, the Gun Guy's Garage discount code, the pound for pound, is still his best discount code. So, because we're bigger than we like shooting, so we got a better code. But yeah, go check them out. There's a bunch of stuff over there. Rob.
Chad, did you know the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers? This is not legal advice, nor should it be considered as such. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows. And now for a review of the Victory Operational Works Crusader holster.
That's
Chad.
right. And Rob, I thought I
Yes.
had heard that somewhere. That the
What's
view that the views and opinions on this podcast. I think I've heard that somewhere, but I'm not sure where.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Thank you, Rob.
You
So-
care?
Sure.
No, you don't.
Well, you know I care. You know, otherwise I'd just do like I do to Tony.
All right, excuse me.
So, bless you, Rob.
Thank you.
So, yes, the Victory Operational Works Crusader holster. You know, if you're actually watching, I have it here. You know, so, you know, but the pictures, you can go to the firearmsinsider.tv and find it. You can look it up. So anything I talk about here, you can check it out. So Victory Operational Works, they're a veteran-owned company, and they make a unique holster system. And it's the Crusader. It's a two-piece multi-use holster that's not your typical pancake-style holster. You know, they also have one called the Crusader Max, which has a built-in mag carrier, but this is just on the standard Crusader. The one I chose was in Cryptek Neptune, just because it's cool. They also sent me one of their individual mag carriers, which I also have here. It is also in the same Cryptek Neptune. Both of them exude quality. I will say the quality on this holster is fantastic. So the Crusader actually comes with everything you need. When I say everything, it means everything. You pull the Crusader out of its little sealed package, a bag of accessories comes out with it, and in this little bag is hardware that you need to change the Crusader from inside the waistband to outside the waistband. Includes screws, grommets, torque-style Allen wrenches. The outside the waistband mounting isn't just some flimsy, belt loops. They're actually using a Blade Tech lock, which is included. So you're getting a secure mounting method with built-in belt adjustments if you know nothing about the Tech lock. For the inside the waistband use, the Crusader holster comes out of the package with a discrete Carry Concepts 1.5-inch monoblock. Excuse me. And the discrete Carry Concept clip is also laser engraved with a V on it for their, Victory holsters. Really nice quality. I thought was pretty cool that I hadn't seen before on other people that use the DCC clips. And as you probably know, the DCC clips are the best inside the waistband clips, in my opinion. So you got to check a box for Victory doing stuff correctly when it comes to what they send with the holster. With all those mounting options, Victory goes one step further with the Crusader. Like I said, it has a bunch of different mounting hole options. Essentially, all these holes give you plenty of different holster carrying options. On the front, there's 4. On the back, there's a crap load, basically. And what they do is gives you different options for carrying. Of course, mount with the belt clip or Tech lock. The different holes for ride height and cant. With inside the waistband and the DCC option, you have 2 different ride height adjustments also, as well as cant options. Outside the waistband, there's also 2 different ride heights. Besides the supplied mounting options, like I said, they put a bunch of different holes for outside the waistband carry, so you can install any type of carry that you would want. most notably is the Safariland mounting hole pattern. I actually ended up putting a QLS fork on the back from Safariland so I can quickly remove the Crusader from the battle belt that I end up using it on. All of the holes are riveted, so they're not just drilled in the Kydex. So that's another plus for the quality that they're giving you. When it comes to the Crusader holster itself, it is unique, and I say this because it's constructed of two separate pieces. You can kind of tell. You can tell in the pictures. You can't really quite tell watching the video here. You can kind of see it. It's got a front piece, back piece. They're molded to each individual firearm to then make the complete holster, and they do that by custom in-house made jigs. Then they're mounted together with 4 screws and rubber bushings. The 4 screws make it possible for the end user to adjust the tension on the holster. You can make the gun fit super loose, super tight, adjust the 2 down on the front guard for the snap-in feel, but keep the other 2 screws loose. So if you tighten them all up equally, you get the normal holster feel. This way the Victory makes these 2 sides allow for tall sights and slide right optics. The Crusader is an open bottom style holster, so that way lint and stuff won't build up in it. It also allows the use of threaded barrels, compensators, etc. to stick out the end of the holster if you're using stuff like that. The one thing I did notice about the Crusader is that it angles the butt of the pistol in towards your body when you're wearing it. I really liked this. It helped to hide the grip a little better. You can't really see it unless you really look at the holster. It's kind of hard to tell, but if I hold it up flat, you can kind of see how the butt of the gun angles in a little bit. So Victory Operational Works, like I said, also sent the Conspirator magazine pouch. It's a molded universal style mag carrier for double stack magazines. Right now it's got a SIG 320 magazine in it, but you can unscrew it so that it fits the Glock style magazine. Comes with all the hardware that the Crusader holster came with, plus some options for different styles of DCC clips if that's what you would like. It's the same excellent quality as the Crusader holster. Also has multiple holes for mounting it however one would like, angled, either direction, straight, lower, higher, etc. One of the features of the Conspirator is that it has an insert piece that lets you adjust magazine retention, not just by clamping the screws tighter, but it's an adjustable drag plate inside the magazine pouch. I do really like the mag pouch. May seem expensive at $49.99, but you figure with all the mounting hardware and the adjustability, it's a pretty decent value. Now, every convertible holster has some trade-offs in my opinion. For me, the Crusader makes an excellent outside the waistband holster. I liked everything about it in that configuration. Where I think the trade-off is in the inside the waistband configuration. Because of the 2-piece design, there's a little more material to try and hide. Caused the holster and pistol to print more for me at 230 or 3. Appendix was slightly better, but not much. I really appreciated the designed-in angles or curves that they put on the inside of the holster. They make it a very comfortable holster if you're wearing it inside the waistband, even if it does print a little bit more. The angles also make it a little more comfortable for outside the waistband carry. Crusader is also made so that the pistol magazine release button is not covered, and therefore, you can change magazines or something while it's in the holster. But in this case, for me, it means that the holster itself won't drop the magazine, which I have had holsters do that where the magazine releases inside even though it's done wrapped around it. If you put pressure on it just right, the holster pops out. So I actually like that feature. So there is that. I will say one thing about I think why the inside the waistband sticks out more is if you're watching the video, up where it mounts, you can see it's got a little hump up at the front of the holster that sticks out probably 3/8 of an inch more than the gun itself, and I think that's why it prints. more. I didn't put this in there, but it is a square piece, so you can actually rack the slide off the holster itself, kind of like you would a belt or something, but there is that option. So if you're looking for one do-all holster, the Crusader from Victory Operational Works just might be it. Quality and craftsmanship of this thing are top-notch, even down to using Torx head screws that are used throughout the holster. Has great adjustability and comes with everything you need to convert it between the inside the waistband and outside the waistband carry. It is made in the USA, does have a lifetime warranty. So if you're interested, you can check out Victory Operational Works and their Crusader holster. So for the Firearms Insider Reviews 8 key points, claim to fame, quality universal Kydex holster. So target markets, pretty much anyone needing a do-all holster. So the features and benefits, there's a bunch. We probably went through a lot of them. It does include the Blade Tech Lock with different carry options, the DCC monoblock clips for also different carry options. Of course, all the mounting hardware is stainless steel to help prevent rust. It's got the 4 adjustable retention points, so you can make it fit however you want. 3-point angle in the outside the waistband configuration with the Tech Lock, because that's kind of built into the Tech Lock. They final fit each holster with an actual handgun. They don't use a plastic gun, so like this one's for a G19, so they fit it with a G19 basically. Let's see, it does include all the tools. It does have highly polished edge treatment, as they say. The edges are super smooth, which is pretty cool. The outside the waistband hole pattern, like I said, it does the Safariland QLS Blade Tech. It also does the G-Code RTI. And I think pretty much everything on there is taken care of. So other options and finishes, they make tons of different options or finishes, so you just have to check it out. There is some what others are saying in there. Couldn't find any other reviews when I wrote this. Price point on this thing is $129.99. Like I said, the mag carrier is $49.99, and they're $99.99 if you just want plain versions without the Cryptek patterns or various other things. So if you were looking at one of these, you have to head over to Victory Operational Works. So for our rating, the pros, quality and craftsmanship is awesome on these things. The standard design works with red dots. The open style, of course, works with comps, etc. They do include everything. The 2-piece design was pretty cool. It's the comfortable angles that are kind of built in on the back plate are pretty cool. Cons, it's larger than other inside the waistband holsters, and it does print more as an inside the waistband holster. But I gave it a score of 8, which was great because the craftsmanship is just fantastic on this thing. And I really like it as an outside the waistband holster. You guys got any questions?
Yeah, as an inside the waistband holster, how does it feel while you're carrying the pistol?
Oh, it's comfortable. I will say it's very comfortable.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, from what I've seen, not very many people are going, "Ooh, who's got a gun?" Unless you're a gun guy and you're like, "Oh, let's see if I can see the concealed carriers." I mean, I'm not too worried about printing,
Right.
I mean, like I said, when I lived in North Carolina, it was open carry, and I'd see people open carrying all the time, and people were oblivious to that. Well, or they didn't say anything.
Yeah, and like here, right now, it's like, yeah, you can carry, if you have a permit, you can carry concealed, but open carry is still legal. So it's like, if it prints or if it shows, it doesn't matter because it's legal. So.
Right. And like I always wear a shirt that's about 1 to 2 sizes too big, and that way it looks like, you don't really see it.
Right. And that's the thing is, this one, that was really the only noticeable thing. And some people it bothers, others. Like if you're wearing a jacket or something all the time because it's winter or something, you'd never even notice.
Right.
But under a
If you're wearing a
t-shirt,
jacket, you might do outside the waistband.
right? And that's the thing is, but like with a normal t-shirt on, you could tell, like it's all of us have tons of different holsters, and so, it's like the normal holster I wear carrying this pistol, it prints less than this one.
Right.
So
Yeah. I'm checking out the different guns they have available. I wonder if you send them something, or contact them, because they have no Berettas on here at all.
yeah,
I'm sure they could. They just have to get a mold that they can, or a plastic gun that they can use
or
as a mold.
something, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, we got Walters, Canics, and they only have the PDP. You know what I mean? And the Walter, and they got Canics, but I'm figuring, between the TP9, they have the whole thing,
Right.
because there's 3 different ones.
Right.
They got HK VP9, VP9 long slide, VP in the 40. I guess it's slightly bigger.
Must be.
They got the HK 30 P30 and the HK P30L, but they have 0 Berettas, no Beretta.
I
I'm
mean,
like,
I got a local gun store that does something very similar to this, where they have molds that they use, or if you've got a gun like I brought in my Ruger LC9S, and they just took the gun out and vacuum formed the mold to my pistol, gave it back to me, and the holster was good to go.
yeah, they don't have any
I wouldn't do it to
1911.
these guys because you'd have to ship your gun to them and have to ship it back. I don't want to.
I mean, listen, they have very popular firearms. I mean, they have a lot of the most popular guns out there for concealed carry. But I mean, they have the 226. I'm like, at least the Centurion, maybe 8. What is it called? What's the Beretta polymer, APX?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and I mean, and let's not even talk about the fact they don't have a high point on here. I won't even bring that up.
Tony, you're the only one that would want to conceal carry a high point.
I've done it.
Chad,
I don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
How would you say this holster is for a larger sizes guy? I had a gentleman ask me a day, he was looking for a holster for his 19. And he says, I'm a big guy. He says, inside the waistband is kind of uncomfortable. And I was like, well, inside the waistband is uncomfortable. I carry her, just a little bit past 3 o'clock myself. And so he was kind of asking me about that. Would you recommend this for somebody who has the Dunlap disease?
Yeah, and
Dunlop disease, yeah.
and that's the thing is, and I tried it with the Tech Lock and everything, and yes, you can. The advantage is the holes for mounting the Tech Lock are like up here, so you can see that it's pretty low. So you can get the Tech Lock mounted pretty low, so therefore this stuff doesn't dig into your, fat. So yeah.
And I don't like the front plate, how the front plate's cut and angled.
Right.
So reholstering is for the optic is nice, and you don't have to fumble. It kind of goes in at an angle and guides.
Yeah,
right back
you
in.
can. I mean, you can just kind of pivot it in. You don't have to go directly straight in, and with the optic, yeah. And I had this is just the gun that happens to be in it right now. It's actually a 17 slide, so it sticks out a little bit. But I did carry it with the 19 with optics on it, and it didn't have any problems.
Well, that's a good thing that they're cutting them for optics, and that's a nice thing that they've got the bottom of the holster open so you can put longer Glock slides in there if you want a longer Glock.
And there's plenty of room in there for suppressor height sights also.
Oh.
Now,
Why put suppressor height sights if you can't carry your suppressor in it? That'd be kind of weird to draw a suppressor with a gun out of that.
Well,
even if you're OWB.
if you have a narrow enough suppressor, you can screw it on and just slide it all the way out.
let me explain to you what that looks like when you carry an appendix with a suppressor attached. You're going to get more attention. People might not notice you carrying a gun, but they don't notice you carrying a cannon.
Looks like Tony.
Oh, yeah, exactly. You're going to get people trying to slide into your DMs.
Yes, so that was the Victory Operational Works Crusader holster. So, next up.
Hold on.
Yes.
Hey, I got something else since you've done a review. Hey, I have the JX Tactical Fat Operator holster that I've been wearing for friggin' 2-3 years now?
Yeah.
Appendix. appendix, and it is very comfortable to the fact that I've, let's say, almost committed a felony with it in New Jersey because I was like, oh snap, let me go back in the house because I wear it, in the home at home,
Right.
pants on, gun on, and the guy called into work, and I was like, all right, boom, grabbed my stuff, walked out the door, got in the car. I was like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And so yeah, I checked that out. I mean, they sent me this. What was it? Black Diamonds Guns and Gear. Those guys. They sent it to me because we were on the show together and we were talking about it because I was talking about how being a bigger dude with a regular inside the waistband holster, it just shoots my Glock up out of it like that. I'm like, yo, that's not cool. And they were like, try this. So this is something else you can suggest to someone. I guess I should write it up because it's a few years old and it shows almost nowhere.
Yeah. And there's, yeah, exactly. I mean, there's lots of good options out there. It's just some people, I mean, that's why we all have 50 million holsters. It's just like they work good for some people. They don't work good for some people. It's like, I'm actually glad that I found that this holster works super well for outside the waistband with the clip I put on it. Cause I can just slide it onto my battle belt and then I can run the Glock style pistols depending on what I want to run that day, which is
Cool.
super cool. So,
And they look
I
good.
love the rib. I love the riveting on there.
yeah, I mean, this thing is the quality. They got little washers on there too. I don't know if you can see them. The thing is the quality of this thing is fantastic. I mean, I personally think if they would just trim this little section down a little, it would conceal quite a bit better.
Yeah, I had an issue with that too. It's like that's cool that you have that on there, but if I'm trying to carry conceal, you've decided that you want to have this whatever the frig that is. What is?
Hey, Chad,
Well, that's one
do you
where
have a
you
Dremel tool?
well, that's one where you mount the DCC clip.
Okay.
But if you look at it from the side, you can see it sticks up.
Hey, Chad, I can take my Dremel tool to that and get rid of that in about 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
I got a heat gun.
Uh-huh. Exactly. So now we're on to other stuff. What are we on to? Primary Arms. Primary Arms seeks to provide the best shopping experience for everything firearms. With over 13,000 products from your favorite brands, Primary Arms carries a complete selection of rifles, handguns, firearm parts, and shooting gear. Every order comes with a commitment to superior service, fast shipping, and an expert support team. Our Primary Arms product of the week this week I see is now out of stock, but it's their new SLX 1 to 10 by 28 second focal plane optic. They have two different reticle versions, so I didn't specify which reticle version. They're like $450, but like we said, it's 1 to 10 SLX illuminated reticles. So, if that's something you're looking into, there's another option for you at a somewhat decent price. And if you sign up for the Primary Arms newsletter and more, you can go to frn.deal/PA. The coupon code for this month, who knows about next month, FRN, the coupon code, will get you a free Expo Arms M-Lock barrier stopping device when you purchase an Expo Arms Combat Series 5.56 chrome-lined AR-15 barrel in 5.56 that looks like this one right here. Okay, I can throw that back in the box. And we are now into the product spotlight and discussion. First up is the Taylor & Company TC9 with an MSRP of $588.14. Okay, there's one that's a little less money. It's $546.39 because it depends on which version you want. If you want case hardened frame or just the blued version. They have different grips, but either way, this is the 1873 single action in 9mm. You got it. Case hardened frame, 2-piece black plastic or red grip, depending on which one you're looking at. So it gives you a modern grip option. It's the Navy size grip, which means not that much to me. You can get them in 4 3/4 inch barrels or 5.5 inch barrels. And because it's Taylor and Company, they don't give you a ton of information. Of course, it's a single action, 6 rounds. Let's see. It's manufactured by Pieta. Fixed front blade, rear frame notch. So that pretty much tells you everything that they tell you. But Pieta has a good reputation. Taylor and Company, almost everything they sell is really good quality, at least from what I've seen. I just liked that you could get it in 9mm now. Thought that was pretty cool. If you're a single action army shooter, single SAS shooter, something like this might be pretty cool. Download some 9mm. Just don't try to shoot them in some of your other guns. I don't know if it uses moon clips, but it can't really. I don't know how they must just be indexing off the front of the cartridge so
It's actually drilled for that. I contacted them because I had some questions too. So I called them up and they were real friendly. And I was like, how does it take moon clips? And they're like, nope, the cylinder's actually drilled for it. So you can drop them in and run it that way.
Yeah, which is kind of weird with a single action, but I get it.
Also, go ahead.
I think the case has a slight taper on it, and that's how it does. I've got the Ruger convertible,
Okay,
and it has a 9mm cylinder, and yeah, so I think that's how it's done.
So of course I called them up, and I, because I'm charming, and I was like, so why would anybody want one of these?
So the name of the show is Tony Lies.
I was like, why would anybody want one of these? What's the purpose? Because it's like, I understand somebody has like a modern 9mm revolver because you got a whole bunch of 9, and why not? You don't want to buy 38. Okay, I got you. He was like, well, if you want to get into SAS shooting, or you just want to shoot a single action army, but you don't want to go through extra expense of having another caliber, which 38 is more than 9. He's like, you can do this. And he was like, so that's where I look at it. And 9 is cheaper. It runs on everything. So you can probably shoot steel case on this and pop it back out. So just have fun. So I'm looking at it, and I thought it was, all of a sudden I'm thinking, yeah, this might be a good idea for the diversity shoot because it gives us something different. It gives us a single action army, and I don't have to go through the extra expense of buying 38 for the events to have a revolver there. And for another $125, you can buy their 357 Magnum cylinder. And he said it takes a little bit of gunsmithing because you're going to have to fit it to the gun, but you can actually put their 357 Magnum cylinder in this.
That's even cooler. I mean, yeah, for an extra, it's not like they're super expensive anyway. And I like shooting single action guns just for fun.
Yeah.
And and that, like you said, for like the diversity shoot or something, and ammo's cheaper than buying 38s or 357s.
And another thing, it says on here that they don't do the Taylor's tune-up because they do a tune-up on some of the guns. And I was like, well, why won't you do a tune-up on this particular gun? And they were like, because it's a Pieta. And the Pietas already have lightened strings and don't need the work. So if you're wondering if you got to the small print and wanted to know why, that's why.
There you go. You guys got anything, Rob, Rusty?
I think if you look at a lot of your modern 9mm are shooting your 4-inch barrels, 4.5-inch barrels, something like that. You're getting a little bit more velocity out of this, so you're getting a little bit more punch out of it. And even those people who are carrying it, if you're out in the woods hiking or something like that, you're getting a little bit more punch and maybe a little bit more accuracy out of it. And then you look at trigger pull, it's going to have a lot better trigger pull on it. It's going to have a lighter trigger pull, and then you're getting the basic mechanics down and of working a single action. I've had one for, I couldn't tell you how many years. It's Ruger convertible. It has a 357, 38, and then the 9mm cylinder, and I just love it. And I've probably run just as many 9mm out of it as I've had 38, 357 Magnum. And because I practice with a 9mm because I've got thousands of them, and the 38 and 357s are expensive, and I reload all those. So yeah, I think this is a wonderful gun. Whether you have you have the other cylinder fitted to it or not, I think it's just a good option to have because 9 millimeter is our caliber that the most of the free world has. Besides 22.
And if you check out the power levels, 9 millimeter is ahead of 38 special in most rounds. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can hand load some really hot stuff, but you can do the same thing with nine, and you still got, 38s. You got what, 158s, nines. You can have 148s. You can have 125.
yeah,
Heck,
And I
there's
mean,
the
you got a lot of different bullet layers.
there's the subsonic nines and like 165s and stuff like that too. If you want something to go slow and heavier.
Well,
So I
I've
mean,
shot hogs with 9 millimeters before. You could do the same thing with this. I mean, if you're good enough, and close enough range, I mean, it's not a bad option for
now I
anything.
have the Pieta. I got the Pieta black powder, 1858 New Army, and I mean, we've seen my pictures. I've shot it in competitions at 50 yards, and that's with the black powder and 145 grain black powder ball. So I can say they're pretty darn accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and the price is right on it.
Oh yeah.
And the case hardness, you just gotta say, it's just
Oh, the
pretty.
case hardened, definitely. That's the
Yeah.
one you go for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean
it's
that
just
exactly.
I went I went down a rabbit hole looking at all the different revolvers they have. I mean, I just went down and down and down. I wound up in the Schofields and then the 44 Russians and stuff today, and I just kept going down, and I lost track of what I was supposed to be looking at today, and I just kept rolling down, and I was like, oh, I
I
got into
ended
the
up
top breaks.
I ended up in the 1911.
The one right beside it was a 10 millimeter, and I started drooling off of it. The price was right.
Yeah, I've done that before. I think we've all done that before. So that is the Taylor and Company TC9 1873. Next up is something that's simple, and if you have a CZ Scorpion Evo, this thing's pretty cool. Strike Industries has come out with their Scorpion Evo Magwell. MSRP on these things is a whole $24.95. Basically, it's just a bolt-on magwell for your Scorpion Evo. I mean, it kind of matches. It looks pretty cool. I've not actually seen one in person. I know somebody that has one. He was doing some videos and trying it out. So, it's there. It comes with what you need if you're into PCC using your CZ Scorpion Evo. This might be the ticket. Heck, even if it's not, you can try it out for $25. I mean, you can't probably go wrong with it. And
You think for the price CZ would build that onto their gun, but who am I? But it looks good. It looks good. I like the roundness of it, the radiuses, the curves and stuff, and it does look good being bolted on instead of pinned in.
yeah, and there's just some Allen screws or something. Granted, because of the way the mag release is, you can't. The back isn't angled and it's open, so you can't have a section there for magwell. But hey, they did what they could. Looks good. Rob and Tony probably don't have much on it because I didn't figure there would be much on it.
Yeah, I don't own a Scorpion, but it looks interesting.
Yeah, I mean, me neither, but I kind of threw it in there because I was like, this is cool. People probably want to hear about it if they haven't. So I had a dilemma. So when I put the Wilson Combat SFT9 in the show notes, and the dilemma is they came out with a 320 also. And so I was like, we'll put the SFT9 in there because I wanted to put this in there, especially after, that one of those companies that shouldn't be named brought
Last
out
week's disaster.
disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, the thing is with the SFT9 from Wilson Combat, I really like this. Okay, did I say the price? It's $3,000 $3,000 I can't even talk anymore.
Wow, $3,095.
Thanks, Tony.
Okay,
Hey,
before we start out with anything, Tony was like comparing Cadillacs and Buicks, and Rob was going with Yugos. This damn thing's an Aston Martin. right here. This
You
is
know,
the James Bond of guns.
this thing, I saw this and I'm like, oh, I think I finally found a gun that I might carry from Wilson Combat that I might want. But we'll go over this.
Yeah.
This is it's interesting. Let's put it this way. It's 9mm, of course, holds 15 rounds. It's a 4.25-inch barrel. So overall length is 7.85 inches. Sight radius is 6 inches, basically. Height's 5.25 inches. So basically it's Glock 19 size, I would say, or close to it. It's 1.15 inches wide. It does weigh 30 ounces, pretty much empty, and 36.5 loaded. They do guarantee 1.5 inch at 25 yards. So this is their high capacity, compact size, solid body aluminum track frame. And the track frame, basically, it's got their kind of signature track series cut into the frame. So it looks pretty cool on this particular handgun. Yeah, of course, it's got their track texture, front strap, back strap, bulletproof hammer, bulletproof thumb safety, trigger pull. You can get different length pads, but it comes with a medium, 3.5 to 4.5 pound, because it is a single action, 1911 style. But holds 15 rounds, so it's not quite. It's got all a bunch of their parts, their bulletproof magazine, countersunk slide stop, black DLC finish on the slide, rear battle sight with red fiber optic front sight, fluted chamber, which is kind of interesting, 30 lines per inch top serrations, 40 lines per inch serrated rear slide, and they do that to cut glare when you're using actual sights. Front and rear cocking serrations, machine chamfer on the bottom of the slide, carry cuts, end mill cuts, comes with 2 magazines. I believe they have an optics ready version, but I haven't got that far.
They do.
Yeah, I was pretty sure they did. But either way, I looked at this and I'm like, oh, this is nice. And it looks super nice. Like you said, it looks kind of like an Aston Martin. I believe it's a bull barrel too. I read that somewhere. I didn't say it. And the frame looks super thin for what it is. You can't beat a tuned 1911 trigger. I just kind of was like, oh, I like this way better than just like a commander size. Holds 15 rounds. I'm like, okay, I think I found a gun I need.
I would be almost willing, and this is hard for me to even say this, I would be almost willing to part with a few of my guns to buy one of these.
I seriously had the same thought too, and I was like, I'm not gonna do it.
But I got a few issues with it. I mean, and they're not bad issues. One, it doesn't have an accessory rail, which is not a make or break deal for me, because right. I have 2 guns that I have lights on, and half the time I don't run the lights on them. One of them I do have all the time, the other one I don't.
Right.
But it's not a make or break deal. The other thing is, this is a modern age. All their damn guns ought to be cut for an optic on it. They only have one model cut for an optic. It's $200 more. Well, this thing's CNC. You got the same program. You got the slide up there. Mill that damn thing out and drill the holes in there.
Yeah.
With a CNC with that slide, it's taking you 2 minutes to do that. Yeah. Cut it, drill it, tap it, run with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. And I'm a fan of an all steel or alloy, whatever you want to call it, frame gun, all metal frame. Granted, most of my carry guns are polymer frame, but I do like an all steel gun, and it's not beyond too heavy. And I think this, if we will compare apples and apples, this is comparable to the Staccato.
Yeah,
it's not
right.
It's in the same category. I'm not going to say it's better or worse or anything like that, But if you want to compare something that's more like it, this is more like it because this thing is nice, it's slick, and it is at the end it's hand fitted and handmade.
And it is thinner than a staccato.
Yes, I'm not saying one's better than the
Right,
other.
right.
I would not. Yeah, but I'm saying for the price line, this thing is nice. I mean, I didn't see I couldn't find really anything on this one besides the website. I looked at a lot of the X9s, and I see a lot of good stuff. I see a few other ones that the usual people that say don't get this, but most of the stuff from Wilson, I mean, is very commendable reviews,
Yeah,
and
and
I would buy it.
that's part of why it's probably a few $100 more than somebody else that makes a gun of this quality, is because you are paying a few bucks for the Wilson name because you're getting that quality.
So
Yeah,
I was checking this out and I liked it too, but I'm like, what's the difference between the SFT9 and the SFX9?
One's plastic
I'm like,
frame,
what?
isn't it?
No,
No.
no, not at all. So pretty much what you're looking for is this. This has the light rail, this has the optic cut, and it's $2,995. So it's the same gun, except it has all the things you want and it's less money. The exact same gun. It just has different slide cuts on it. It has that X pattern slide cut. So I contacted Wilson and I was like, well, what else is the difference? And they were like, pretty much this particular gun is the SFX9 with the Xperia slide on it. That's the difference.
Okay.
And no and pick rail,
Right.
no accessory rail.
Right.
So
Because
that's what it is. It's like this with a slide changed out. So yeah, definitely if you want something with the optics cut, you're gonna have to go with the exact same dang gun, except
Yeah.
with optics cut.
yeah, there's
because I
For a
think
few
if you
grand
look
less.
if you look down about the fourth line down for like $3,300, they've got the one that's optic cut
Right,
because it's got
right.
the plate on it, and I think it's the fourth one down. Um, and do they have the same finish on it, Tony, as the
They do.
SFT? Okay, yeah,
It's
I
because
was
that
going
thing.
through it line by line because it was
Okay,
driving me nuts. And I'm like, what is the difference? Like, do they say the difference? And I really think Wilson Combat obviously has good stuff. I mean, all of us since we were kids probably have been, daydreaming about owning a Wilson Combat.
yeah,
Dude, give us some more information. I don't know what ad company you're using, but maybe get a regular voice guy instead of a deep voice guy, and maybe he charges less per word, so you can actually give me a description of what the freaking gun. Powerful, dependable, handmade. Yeah,
yeah,
could you help a brother out and just tell me some of the stuff that's in it, man?
yeah. It looks like and the thing is you look at him and it's like you said, the difference pretty much is in the slide. The
Yeah,
slides are completely different, but the frame is pretty much the same frame. So
yeah.
same
I
frame
think like
has accessory rail.
one has an ambi safety, one doesn't.
right.
I mean, because that's some of the little minor things I've seen. But
But again,
I
it's a
mean, but
custom gun, so you can
yeah,
get it put on.
Yeah.
yeah, because I know on the X9 you can get different triggers on it. You can I mean, you can get the solid trigger, the skeleton trigger, the skeleton hammer on it. You can get this gun built just about any way you want from the factory, and that's what you're paying for. And if I'm going to spend $3,000, I want it my way. I want it just like Burger King. I'm buying it my way.
Have
I
you
don't want
seen
it
that
like
flat? Have you seen that flat Dark Earth?
yes, it's nice.
Yo, that is ridiculous.
And
Okay.
that
So
coating on there, that coating is impervious. I mean, you could beat the crap out of it. It's not going to hurt that gun whatsoever. It'll last a lifetime.
Oh yeah,
give it to me.
the DLC coatings.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
Yeah. So
It's not. Simon said he'll kill it.
well, see, Tony, you can just they're closer to you than probably anybody else. So,
Yeah, reach out to
believe
them and
me.
see what they tell you.
they'll just tell
Hey,
you
listen,
no.
you should have seen the look on the Nighthawk Custom guy's face when I asked for one for free.
Well,
They look at me like, what planet is this guy from?
hey, what did it hurt you though? You ask. They might have said yes.
Oh, believe me, it does not bother me to ask somebody
Nope.
for their multi-$1,000 handgun for free.
Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing
Listen,
about
I
all of us.
asked for a $300 upper and told her I didn't have 50,000 followers.
That was your problem, Rusty. is you asked for a $300 part.
And
You should have asked somebody else for like a $600 gun, and you probably would have got it.
Jeez.
So that is the Wilson Combat SFT9. So next up is a pocket knife. It's the Sencut Crowley, is how I would.
Crowley.
Yep. It is a button lock. It is made in China. I put this in here because MSRP is $55.35. It has a D2 blade, so we know it's got decent steel in it. It's 3.4 inches. It's running, what is it, green micarta handles. I love how knife manufacturers do this. They say width, which actually means, it's not the width of the knife. It's height is what I would call it. I don't know why they do this. It's 1.23 inches. It's 8.06 inches open, 0.74 inches wide with the clip. Blade length, we already went over. Closed length, 4.58 inches. The blade is 0.12 inches thick. Handle thickness by itself without the clip is half inch basically. Weighs a whole 3.32 ounces. Like you said, it's a flat ground blade, black stonewash, drop point, D2. Liner material is stainless steel. You can run it tip up, left, right, depending on how you want it. It's got caged ball bearings. And like I said, it is a button lock for $55. So I'm thinking it's probably pretty decent for the price. I mean, I got this Civivi here that's also a button lock, which is probably very similar, and it's
So these guys
$90. So
are these part of the box store of Amazon of Wii or Civivi?
neither. This it's
Actually, you sure?
yeah.
They're Wii. They're Wii.
Uh,
Look, you better look to see.
yeah.
They're weak, bro.
Yes,
They're Wii.
they're the other brand that I think they added them not too long ago because I don't remember them. I don't remember them used to be owned by Wii. But yeah, Wii
So
is the
They all started out
original.
the same people.
Yeah, Wii owns them. Wii is the top quality expensive ones, and then they have the Civivis, and then they have the Sencuts.
So, like, in the past, I want to say 10 years, but it's probably more like 5, there has been a downturn in knives. And that's it's been actually a good turn for us. But, like, for major brand people,
Yeah.
the downturn going to China with a lot of the steels that's coming out. Because when you bought a junk knife at a store that was $5 or $10, you got a $5 or $10 knife.
You got a $2
Now,
knife.
yeah. Now that you get a $55 knife, it's like buying a $125 knife because you're getting better steel. Used to, you buy a 440 stainless steel knife, you got crap. But now that you're getting D2 steel blades and better,
Yeah.
you're getting good quality steel. You're getting a $55 knife that from China that I carry one in my pocket, a Bestech. I've been carrying for a year now that I've been trying to kill this thing and I can't. And I actually went and bought another one just cause. But these things they're wonderful.
Yeah.
And the D2 is a great steel. And I used to be a machinist. And so these companies are coming out with it, and they're knocking off some of the other brands, so be it, and their blade styles. but not everybody can go out and drop $300 on a name brand knife.
Right.
But these companies are bringing it to the average people, kind of like some gun manufacturers are. So this downturn of knives of brand, which is an upswing in quality for us, is they're bringing out really good stuff, and so it's bringing quality here. And I know a lot of people say, "Well, I'm only buying American." Well, sometimes you just can't because we can't afford it.
Right. And
And
that's the thing is like with these, having a bunch of the Civivis, the advantage is between Sencut and Civivi, you get different blade steels, but they both have like D2, which is good as long as you don't need super corrosion resistant and stuff. But some of the others, they're not putting all of the great steel in it, but like I was looking at some of their other new knives, and they're running like 9 CR18 MOV, which is slightly better than 8 CR, for another $50, but you get benefits over maybe D2 in some respects. But yeah, they're out there, but you're getting a good knife that's locks up solid. It's got pivots that are ball bearing, and yeah, I mean, you really, for what you're getting,
yeah,
and it's like we always say, if you buy it off Amazon and it's $45 or whatever, I don't know, if you lose it, you're not out $150 like if you bought the American version of the same knife. Now, granted, I'm all about buying the American version, but I'm going to cry if I lose my.
yeah. You lose a Microtech out in the yard, or
Yeah.
you break the tip off of it, you're gonna cry.
I lose this.
I know I would.
I lose this ZT knife.
Yeah, because the guy out here says I always go back to his buck 110. Well, I got a buck 110 auto that I spent $180 on,
Right.
and I'm afraid to carry it because
Exactly.
I don't want to lose it.
Exactly, but you carry something like this Crowley we're talking about, and it's like most of the time it does everything you need to, and if you do lose it, you're not gonna cry as much.
Yeah, I mean that's what it comes down to, dude. And it's like, what am I gonna do? Who am I buying this knife for? Who's gonna freaking replace my knife? Guys on the internet. Look, I don't know them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're not. I'm like, yo, bro. Yeah, hey, I have a Patreon. I have PayPal. If you want to send me Microtech money, you know what I mean?
Yep.
If you want to send a Microtech, if you want to send a high end, if you want to send a ZT, cool. But until then, when I'm spending my cash, I'm getting what I can afford, and I'm trying to get the best bang for the buck.
Best tool for the money.
And I think, and I think probably a lot of our listeners are that way too. Yeah. You're getting what's your best bang for the buck. So.
And then when you run into a compromise, like this right here, this is Crudo, right?
Yeah.
Crudo knives are made in China, but it's designed by an American dude here, and he checks them all out before he sends them out. So you're never going to get garbage. But I mean, it's made in China. So what? Forget him, his wife, and his family. Like they're not getting paid. Like you could have this because this is 9. What is it? 9 CR18 MOV.
Yeah. Same. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you going to pay for this made in America with American steel?
Well, and
this is sub $100.
Right. And that's the thing is even like, we'll go to Kershaw, a lot of their stuff is their stuff that's in this price range for $50 is made in China. Now they make made in USA ones, which, typically are twice the price. Typically. And, I have one of their made in America ones, and this was from a few years back, but that Kershaw I was not thrilled with. I was like, I'll stick to the China one. It was actually made better, but and then they have higher end lines like the ZT, which is made in America, but you're looking at $200+.
So I look at blade steel. I look at the if it's ball bearing,
Yep.
And because you get a lot of knives, if they don't have the ball bearing, they got the brass washers in there,
Yeah.
and them things bind up and they get clogged. I mean, I couldn't tell you, and if it's pinned or if it's like they got the brass in there and they've hammered, or the steel
Right.
and they've hammered it together and you can't take it apart and clean it.
Right.
You know, what kind of liner lock is it? Is it push button liner lock? Is it an outer lock? I mean, what is it?
Right. Frame lock, stuff like that.
Yeah. Steel's the biggest part for me. What kind of blade steel is it? Because I like
Yep.
to be able to sharpen my knife. And what kind of blade design is it? Because if I can't sharpen it like that blade Tony's got right there, if it doesn't roll smoothly on my sharpener, I don't want it. I don't want to have to work to sharpen my knife. I want it to flow freely and to be a good motion.
Right. That knife that Tony has is one of the Kershaws that is made in America. And that is probably, I've seen those knives, and that is probably one of my favorite Kershaws that are made in America. And it's an auto knife. It's not a flipper, it's an auto. So, and what are they? $160 now or something?
110 I got this for.
Yeah, I think they've gone up since then, but still, it's a super good deal, especially if you want a Warncliffe blade. But they make others also that are good deals. So
it's a CPM 154 still.
Right. Which, and it's like, okay, it's not an S35 or whatever V.
Not 35V.
But
something else I've seen on SendCut on Amazon and on their website, you can buy extra pocket clips.
Yep.
I couldn't tell you how many times I have broke the pocket clips off of, and it takes forever to get them. You can buy these all day long. For a little bit of nothing.
And that's the thing with like the Civivis that I have here. That's the same thing. You can buy the pocket clips like off Amazon for $6-7 or something. But I have yet to have.
I wish I had the pocket clip for this.
I have yet to destroy.
My honey badger broke.
Destroy one. Yep. See there, Tony.
My honey badger, the freaking pocket clip snapped off.
Yeah, and I think it's also design of pocket clips like this Crowley we're talking about. It's looks like one of the typical Civivi clips, kind of like that one, but they're curved. Mm-hmm. They curve around and then bolt on, and I think it's harder to break them, but it also makes a super deep pocket clip because you go all the way to the end.
And the screws are recessed.
Yes. So
underneath, which that's important.
Now, welcome to our knife discussion. That was the SendCut Crowley flipper. So we don't have any listener feedback, so Tony can take it away.
Well, the next diversity shoot is going to be the 28th, and it's going to be at the Union Hill Gun Club. Coming up this weekend, we're going to be at the Union Hill Gun Club with the kids shoot, with the youth shoot, with CNJFO. So if you want to help them out, please go to CNJFO's Facebook page and donate. I've put it on my page before. People donate a little bit, but if you guys can afford to help out, please do. What it is a 22 shoot. So we introduce the kids that firearms using 22. So we have 22 revolvers, 22 semi-automatic pistols, and then we go up to single-shot rifles. So the Cricket Company, actually it's called Keystone. Keystone has donated tons of crickets, so the kids get to shoot those. And then we go up to semi-automatics, and that's when I break out my Ruger 1022 in the high tower armory kit that makes it look like a PS90 with a suppressor. So I'm actually going to the range tomorrow, and I'm taking that to zero the laser, so the kids have the laser pointed exactly where it needs to be. So sometimes you get kids that just won't get a proper cheek well. So I'll just have them have fun, place it on the counter, and use the laser as an aiming device, and still they have fun too at 10, 15 yards. But if you want to help support the Diversity Shoot, please go to diversityshoot.com. You can make donations to our PayPal there, and you can support us in any way possible. And our tickets on sale at the Diversity Shoot, if you go to Eventbrite and follow Tony Simon, you'll get made aware of whenever our tickets go on sale. So thank you very much. Really appreciate you allowing me to talk about this every week. And thank you for all the people that actually participated and share my post on the internet. I really, really appreciate it.
Woohoo. Thanks, Tony. So send us questions, comments, or feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review or anywhere else you download this podcast at. We appreciate it. Check out all the other great shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.net. Don't forget to visit the Firearms Insider at firearmsinsider.tv. You can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Firearms Insider. And as always, thank you for listening to the largest pound for pound podcast on the network. And we are out.
Queen Elizabeth knew Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.